Jibrin angle on Oweleketv. In today's episode, we will dive into the ongoing controversy surrounding President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's academic credentials. This issue has continued to linger and grow increasingly complicated with each passing day, with more hidden details coming to light. Additionally, we will discuss the document obtained by Atiku from Chicago State University and the political dimension surrounding the entire certificate saga. Our guest for today's show is Barrister Austin Manta, a seasoned legal practitioner with over 3 decades of experience. Join us.
Hello, welcome to Oweleketv, and this is Jibrin Angle. On the angle today, we shall be talking extensively about the current events that has to do with the president of Nigeria's president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What we shall be talking about is the certificate saga. We thought nobody knew that this certificate stuff will keep lingering up to the. In fact, it's even getting messier by the day, causing our great country a global embarrassment, So we shall be digging deep into it. We shall be giving you details of everything about it, what is the current status, and the implication legally. We shall be doing this with our dear barrister, Manta. We shall be talking about all the documents, the exhibit. I call them exhibits that Atiku's camp actually got from CSU, the Chicago State University, and we shall be talking about the politics around this whole stuff or whatever. So, so that is it. Again, welcome to this is Jibrin Angle. On this angle, we'll talk about the important situation, the important topics of the day. We talk about politics. We talk about legal issues. We talk about gospel matters, and we say it. We don't hold back. We say it the way it is, and that is the way we roll here. We don't not minding whose ox is God. So if you are a lover of the truth, if you are a lover of frankness and raw truths, for that matter, if you're a lover of politics, current affairs, legal analysis, gospel analysis or commentaries, please just stick with us and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on all social media, all the major social media platforms, and will always get you up to date on current affairs. So again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the regular viewers. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your consistency with us. And that is it. And like as I said earlier, we shall be talking about the political side of this whole forgery certificate saga, and that we'll be doing that with Barrister Austin Manta on the show today. Again, my name is Jibrin. I am the host and the anchor, the sole anchor of this program called Jibrin Angle. And let's welcome Barrister Manta. Manta is a legal practitioner. He was called to Barr over 38 years ago. Since then, he's been in active practice. So he is very, very vast and well cooked in legal, anything that has to do with the law. He is a principal partner of Manta and Co., located in both Abuja and Kaduna. I think his main office is in Kaduna. Yes, Barrister Manta, thank you so much for your time again with us. Thank you for always availing us the privilege of having you to grace our screen all the time. And thank you for all the analysis. Before we move forward, Barrister Manta is not just a lawyer and a legal analyst. He is also a political analyst. His analyses are so insightful. If you are a lover of political analysis, legal analysis, I advise you, I will suggest you stick to this show and put on your notification whenever we upload. We have this show. So you can actually get notified to watch it. So he's a very, very erudite political analyst. His political instinct has always, not always, but most cases been very, very cogent and timely. It's sort of very, very insightful. It's also and that is the reason, of course, why he is a consistent guest on this show, because we trust his sense of judgment, political judgment, and especially legal judgment. He is a conservative lawyer. I refer to him that. He never mentioned that to me, but that is based on his legal analysis. I've known him over the years, so he is a conservative lawyer. Thank you so much. You are welcome again, once again, Barrister Manta, to my show. I don't know, where do I start from? Okay, we have I think the documents that Atiku's lawyers received from CSU, Chicago State University. I think about 4 or 5 different documents. One of the documents talked about implicated the document that Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted to INEC. It invalidates that. Let me use that word. I think it invalidates that document, making it a forgery. It's sort of because we are told that we are informed that the lawyer for the Chicago State University actually could not, in fact, they could not authenticate the certificate that he submitted to Chicago State University. So that automatically invalidates or makes it a forgery, makes what he submitted to INEC a forgery. And the second evidence they got from CSU is a college certificate. Now, the college he attended, I think by the submissions made at the courts, it obviously puts another, not even question mark, a red mark, excuse me, a red mark on the college certificate that he used to even apply for admission to CSU. And the third evidence they got is, the CSU, okay, the CSU admission, when he applied for admission, the college was supposed to be, according to the certificate, the college certificate he used to apply for admission to CSU was dated 1970. While the school was at 1970, the school wasn't even established then. The school was established 1974. And the fourth evidence is that he got, excuse me, the fourth evidence they received from the CSU or from the court. Yes, I would say from the CSU didn't actually hand it to them deliberately or willingly or so. So they actually the court forced CSU to release these documents. Then the fourth one is okay. The document was said to belong to a black American, for God's sake. And one of the documents, I think, bears Ahmed, the middle name, excuse me, the middle name as Ahmed. The other one of the document, the other one, the one submitted to INEC says Ahmed. The one the CSU has bears Adekunle. Sort of, I think I'm trying to figure out the mix up there. So, Barrister, so we need you to actually, first of all, give us a summary of what is going on at the moment. Where is this matter? Where is the case as we speak right now? I'm so sorry for the long intro that I made. It's just sometimes it just comes spontaneously. Yes, please, Barrister Manta.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jibrin. Before I go on, I want to recast where we are coming from.
Yes.
To where we are today and where we will probably be tomorrow in respect of this certificate saga of Tinubu. That will make viewers to appreciate the issues that are on ground. This whole drama started way back in 1999 when Tinubu was elected governor of Lagos State. He submitted a statement to INEC. At that time, he did not submit any document pertaining to his educational qualifications to INEC, but he submitted an affidavit that his documents were lost. But in the affidavit, he stated his educational qualifications, the schools he attended, and where he attended those schools. It turned out that all those statements on oath that he made about the schools he attended were false. The late Gani Fawemi, a senior advocate of Nigeria, one whom many Nigerians call a senior advocate of the masses, took up the case and went to the Federal High Court, Lagos, for an order to direct the Inspector General of Police to investigate the statement on oath of Tinubu and his alleged educational qualifications. Those educational qualifications he mentioned, he said he went to a primary school in Ibadan, a government college in Ibadan, then the University of Chicago. Those were the statements he made on oath. In that same affidavit, he said he lost his educational...
Sorry to cut you short, Barrister. Did you say University of Chicago and not Chicago State University?
No, that time.
Yes.
I'm just telling you, in 1999, the schools he said he went to.
Yeah, so it was University of Chicago, not State.
It was University of Chicago, not Chicago State University.
Okay, all right.
And then it was the government college in Ibadan.
I'm sorry to cut you short for the sake of viewers. In case you don't know, you don't know, we have University of Chicago and Chicago State University. These are two different universities, so they are very important. So
I was coming to that.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So it turned out that the primary school in Ibadan that he said he attended, it was false. The government college in Ibadan that he said he attended, it was false. In point of fact, the Old Boys Association of Government College Ibadan were trying to organize a reception for him as one of their outstanding students, being the governor. So somebody asked that, but what set is he? That is where the problem began. They could not identify the set that he was alleged to have graduated from the government college Ibadan. And then as to the University of Chicago, it turned out that he did not attend University of Chicago. So Chief Gani Fawemi took the matter to court, The court then, Federal High Court Lagos, ruled that Tinubu, being the governor, could not be investigated or prosecuted. Gani Fawemi took the matter to Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal made the same ruling, and he took the matter to the Supreme Court. Eventually, the Supreme Court said no. Even though he cannot be prosecuted, he could be investigated even as a governor, and then prosecuted after his tenure had come to an end. So that was the judgment of the Supreme Court. He finished his term in 2007. And Gani, unfortunately, died in 2009. And the matter, nobody took up the matter. That was how the matter ended up. The next person to raise the issue was one Dr. Adebola, who was the chairman of PDP in Lagos. He also went to court to ask the court to prosecute Tinubu. But the court said that he could not be, that Dr. Adebola ought to have brought the action 3 months of the time the allegations were made or the oath was made. So again, that was how the issue stayed. Until recently, the next person to take up the matter is the journalist Hundeyin, who is now based in, is a Nigerian, but is now based in Ghana out of fear of his life.
Wow.
And after that, Atiku Abubakar, who now brought us to the present situation we are. So from the first set of schools that he submitted in 1999, there's no argument that all of them were false statements.
Wow.
He did not go to the University of Chicago. He did not go to Government College Ibadan. He did not go to the primary school in Ibadan. So all those educational qualifications he stated on oath was a blatant lie. Now, later, he made an explanation that it was Senator Tokumbo who filled his form and put University of Chicago instead of Chicago State University. Now, that is where the Chicago State University now came in. Now, with the present state of things, when the registrar of Chicago State University has made a sworn statement to throw light on the issue. And before I go further, let me explain. People are taking this sworn statement as if it's a statement of court. No. What the registrar of the Chicago State University did is what we call a deposition.
Okay.
That deposition can now be used in the court as his evidence on oath. But number one, it's not subject to cross-examination at that point.
Okay.
So even as it is, we can still put a caveat on the whole statement that the registrar has made, because it's not subject to cross-examination.
Wow.
It's a statement on oath, like evidence of a witness.
Yeah.
That is the position that thing is. Now, coming to that statement, that statement on oath, some issues are very clear. The university has insisted that Tinubu attended this Chicago State University. Now, the question is the entry qualifications alleged to be from Southwest College is still bearing in the column for gender, F.
Correct. Aha, I was going to come to that.
Meaning that it was a female, the admission qualifications from Southwest College belong to a female. Now, the registrar of Chicago State University was trying to suggest that it could have been a mistake. that the name Bola, somebody could have thought that the name Bola belonged to a female. With due respect, because that statement was not due to cross-examination, he could not be challenged on it.
Yes.
Number
Okay.
one, he has no right to suggest
that is it.
What could have happened 30 years ago. That certificate belonged to Southwest College. It does not belong to Chicago State University. He has no right to suggest what could have happened, whether it could have been a mistake or not. The only person that can say anything about the credentials from Southwest College is the Southwest College. If it was a mistake, it's only Southwest College that could come up and say, look, it is a mistake. But remember, it is the students that used to enter their particulars on any application form, particulars as to name, particulars as to age, particulars as to religion, particulars as to gender. It is not the school authorities that enter it.
Absolutely.
Whatever the school authorities are doing, it is from what the student has put on his record that they can copy. I cannot suggest that somebody who is a male will enter his in the column for gender, he will enter that he's a female.
Female, absolutely.
But because the investigation was not carried further to Southwest College, we are left in the vacuum for speculation. We are now having the registrar of Chicago State University coming at something years after to start speculating whether it was a mistake or not. We should not have gone to that level. It was at the point of entry when he submitted this form that that issue should have been interrogated by Chicago State University.
That is it.
You are applying as a man. What are the documents you brought showing a female? That was the point that speculation, that issue could have been laid to rest. But it was not done. Somebody who was not there, who is coming at something years ago, now want to speculate that it could have been a mistake. And I want to point out something. The registrar now mentioned that maybe somebody thought the name Bola was a female. How did it come about that? I am beginning to suspect that a Nigerian person coached him, because in Nigeria, among the Yorubas, the name Bola
it's a unisex.
By both female and male.
That
How
is it.
could the registrar of Chicago State University have known that? To now point out that the name Bola could have been, somebody could have taken it for a female name. How did he come to that conclusion? So you see that somebody has whispered that name, that look, in Nigeria, Bola can be taken by female or male. Now, having said that, the whole deposition does not answer the whole issue. It has raised more issues.
Absolutely.
Because he was said to have gone to Government College, Lagos, and written his GCE A-level in 1970. Now, everybody now knows that in 1970, that school was not in existence. The school was founded in 1974. And nobody can say or has said why the discrepancy. The issue is important because of the background I gave, starting from 1999. The issue started not today. The lies about where he went to school and the qualifications he got started long way back. You mentioned this school, where it's shown to be a lie, you mentioned another one. That's how we have been going since that time. So to me, the issue has not been properly rested. Further investigation ought to be conducted at the Southwest College to know who was admitted there, bearing F, and from where the person got the entry qualifications to enter the Southwest College.
Honestly, in my own, okay, go ahead. I thought you finished. Go ahead, please.
Yes, but coming back to the issue that is on ground, it is not in dispute that the certificate that Tinubu presented to INEC did not emanate from Chicago State University. Even assuming for the sake of argument that he graduated from that school, still, it does not absolve the fact that what he presented to INEC did not emanate from that school. I've seen some people trying to make jest or light of this issue, including a very respected professor who is in Atlanta, Berogi. I've just read this article where he continued to insist that in the US, diploma does not matter, it's not a legal document. All this is an attempt to distract from the issue. Now, if it's not a legal document, the issue still remains that if I graduate from the school and I come and sit in my house and make a certificate from that school, make a signature of an official of that school, put a seal that is said to be a seal of that school, and it turns out that the person whose signature is imposed on the certificate did not put the signature there. It was not the school official that put the seal. What does that document represent? That makes the document a forgery, irrespective of whether you truly have that qualification or not. If I should impose your signature on a document, which you did not impose, that is a forgery. Yeah. If I should use or make a seal of a school and impose it on a document, that is a forgery. As long as it is not the school that did it, as long as it's not your signature, I mean, it's not you that made the signature on the document.
Now,
that would amount to forgery.
Yes. Before you continue, permit me to interject. Because this whole thing is just crazy to me. If you were a student, I don't even see reason why I should forge as an alumnus, why I should forge my school certificate. If truly I attended that school, I passed through that school. It doesn't make sense. That is what does not make sense to me. That is why in my own, like me as a layman, honestly, I just assume that guy, the president, didn't pass through that school. The school may be coming out to defend him or whatever. I told you before that Chicago as a city is a liberal city. And it's over 90% liberal. And everything about them, they are so radically towards the left side of politics and current affairs. So, and the judges there definitely will go the same way. And apart from that, they have the ears. The ears. They have not the ears. The president has the ears of. They have the ears of the president. The president have the ears of Chicago. Because that is where.
Let me interject you there.
Yes.
I was going to say that Chicago State University, as of now, is in the US, in the same position that Tinubu is in Nigeria.
Yes.
They are trying to defend their integrity.
That is the point.
In the US, okay. Just like Tinubu is trying to defend his integrity in Nigeria.
Okay.
And my opinion is that the matter has not yet ended. The FBI, under Freedom of Information Act, have promised to start releasing a 2,500-page documents on Tinubu.
Yes, okay, yeah.
In the month of October. So we should eagerly await what will come up from those documents. But I have a feeling, looking at the way the university was going about the whole thing, that they want to plug all loopholes to defend their integrity. Because if anything was shown otherwise, they will be ruined. So you can see that in the way they are trying to defend, making speculation and suggestion that they don't supposed to be making in order to justify their records, in order to put a stamp of integrity on their records.
No, sorry to interject again. Now, the truth is, this is, it doesn't, if they are trying to protect their integrity, what their lawyers did at the court does not speak to that fact. Why will a lawyer be speaking for someone that they are not defending? The lawyers are supposed to be defending the school. They are supposed to be there standing for the school, not for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So why defending this issue of their assumption that Bola could be the person who filled the form, made a mistake or whatever, that it could be female or male, I don't know, whatever, all the conjectures around that name.
Exactly the point I'm trying to make. If they do not align their matter with Tinubu's matter, they will also stand indicted. So It is an issue of common defense. Because it will go to show that how did the female apply and you gave admission to a male, for instance? It will show that you don't know what you are doing or something must have happened. So there are issues. If they do not strongly defend and align with Tinubu's interests, it will open themselves up to be indicted.
Yeah,
so
but
they have no.
But the truth is, the whole thing is even messy around them. There's just no way they can. It's already messy with Chicago State University. Now the truth is, like I said earlier, I just believe Tinubu did not attend this school, and the U.S. government of Biden is just coming to intervene to see how they can actually have Chicago State University on the side of Tinubu. This whole thing is just messy. The truth is, honestly, I don't think Tinubu attended that school. All these scripts or whatever they release, I don't believe it belongs to someone else. Yoruba, when it comes to Yoruba names, we have so many similarities. Everybody, you have had so many Yoruba names, especially Hausa and Yoruba. I've met people who bear the same first and last name. In school, those days we used to have one Hausa guy. They have it's very, very common with Hausas actually, but we have similar thing with the Yorubas. So where you have someone that bears the same first name and the same last name. So it is just like that. I don't think that there is someone actually who attended that school who is a Nigerian, and they just looked at, okay, this thing actually fits into Tinubu's or whatever, and they decide. That's my own conjecture. That's my own opinion. Actually, that's my understanding, because this whole thing doesn't make sense to me. The truth is, one, it doesn't make sense in the sense that why will someone forge alumnus, for God's sake? If you are an alumnus of that school, why will you if you want to do anything, you need that certificate, even if the one that was with you was missing. The least you could do, this is a multi-billionaire, a very, very rich man. The least you could do is send someone, your PA or whatever, go to this school, apply for whatever. If you cannot do it yourself, you have all the resources to be able to get. It doesn't make common man, even somebody who does not have all this paraphernalia of wealth, can even do that online, apply for this, and they get you whatever. Send mail to them. They'll get whatever.
Let me add the point.
Yes.
That is also being overlooked.
Yeah.
Tinubu's case is that he misplaced his certificate.
Yes.
But the minister said that he never collected it.
That's the point. That's another thing.
Beginning. So you cannot misplace what you did not collect.
That's the point.
And then secondly, if you look at last year when Tinubu was addressing Chatham House, he told them in Chatham House that he misplaced his certificate. But now he can confidently, I still have the clip, he can confidently say that he has obtained a replacement certificate from Chicago State University. And the registrar said he has not collected any, whether the original or replacement. So the one that he has does not emanate from Chicago State University. To seek to trivialize the matter on the ground of where he graduated from it, and in the US, the diploma is not a legal document, so he can sit and make his own document. It's rubbish to me. It's completely rubbish.
Yeah, you see that.
Number one, you are not even presenting that certificate, that diploma in the US. You are presenting it in Nigeria. Where it matters. And even in the US, if you were to present the diploma in the US in a court of law, and the signature on it is found not to be the person you ascribe to,
yes,
and the seal is found not to be imposed by the school, even in the US, that would be forgery. That would be felonious.
Yeah.
So those people trying to defend this thing, this is an indefensible issue. Left for me, the FBI should investigate.
Yes, I was coming to that.
I'm coming. Left to me, the FBI should investigate this whole saga from Chicago State University down to Southwest College.
FBI will not do that.
You and me know that now such an investigation will be a national security issue of the US.
Yes.
So politics and the national security will take precedence over the matter. So we cannot hope to get genuine answers from that angle.
Especially when Joe Biden is the president. That's just the truth. Look, I don't expect. Look, honestly, on this matter, I don't expect anything good to come from the US. Sort of. That's just the truth. They are on the side of Buhari. They are sorry, not Buhari. Sorry, yes, even Buhari, but on the side of Tinubu. That is just it. The thing is, this is a mess, a serious mess, just an embarrassment to the image. You can imagine. I think one of the lawyers was I read somewhere where they say one of the lawyers at the court, Chicago State University lawyers, say that this is something that Nigerians are identified with when it comes to forgery. Sort of, this is an insult, for God's sake. I don't know, that's the problem that we Nigerians face, sort of, that just because of probably less than 1%, not even up to 1%, just very few, less than probably one, because of the 1% bad eggs. You use the brush you use to paint everybody in Nigeria, all Nigerian citizens. That is absolutely. It's outrageous, honestly, when people say that people from Nigeria does this or does that. I mean, associate us with all manner of negativity. Now, when we have the good side of Nigerians are much, in fact, overwhelms the bad side. The bad side is just a chunk, an iota of what the good side is. A sort of. So I don't know why this thing is on. This is unbelievable. And Nigeria's president, for God's sake.
Again, Jibrin, there are signs now emerging that the government of Tinubu and his handlers are desperate to raise this issue. If you recall, I think this week, Arise Television brought Dele Farintumbi, you know him?
Yeah, Faria.
And he used very strong words. He said that Tinubu has been a serial criminal. And the government has descended on Arise Television now, giving them the last warning. So you can see they are edgy. They are becoming oversensitive to the issue. They want the issue to be rested. But you cannot rest an issue that has not been conclusively rested.
The
whole facts have not yet come out.
That is the point.
It cannot be rested.
In fact, it is absolutely not. Absolutely not. Honestly, the thing is,
if Tinubu can come out today and tell us the genuine primary schools he went to, the genuine secondary school he went to. That would be the starting point.
But hold on.
Let's
but
have
honestly, this is on. I don't know. Is this man a supernatural human being? I don't understand. If he's a human being, for God's sake, why are people? This man grew up in Nigeria. Let's see, wherever he grew up, wherever he was bred, in the US or wherever, because I was informed that he actually spent a long time in the US. And so what? But at least he grew up in an environment. Who are his childhood mates, for God's sake? Nobody. Friends. No friends, no childhood, no neighbors, no schoolmates. I don't understand. He attended primary school. This man is all full of mystery. Sometimes I really can't add up what is going on with this man's life. He attended primary schools, attended secondary schools, attended university. Of course, he did he worked with corporations, multinational corporations, for God's sake. How did this man scale through the ranks, through the process from childhood? And right now, no one knows him. No one knew him as a child.
Let me give a further perspective. If you remember the late Yinka Otomakin,
yes,
who was the chieftain of Afenifere,
yes,
and who broke up with Tinubu,
yes,
at a point. He wrote a letter to Tinubu. So that letter has been reproduced. I read it a couple of days ago, in which he traced the origin of Tinubu to Iragbeji in Ondo State. He even alleged in that letter that Tinubu's mother died, but because of his current line, he had to send a delegation secretly to go and bury him. So a lot of things are in that letter that Odumakin wrote to Tinubu. So it aligns with what people have been saying, that the name he's bearing now does not belong to him, that he is not from Lagos State. It aligns with all these things we have been hearing.
Yeah, it aligns with it. It also aligns with my own understanding and opinion of this CSU, Chicago State University. That's why I'm saying, honestly, Tinubu as a person, our current president did not attend CSU, did not attend Chicago. I think that name aligns with the narrative that goes with him at this time. That is why probably and just like you say, in the US, we have what we call what do they call them? I've forgotten this word, what they call them. That these people, some people are a kind of middlemen you can use to actually process your documents. Get it? Vendors. Yeah, you say so. Probably they contacted someone, and the vendor just gave them this idea. Look, we have people. I probably went to do some research at the university. I think that is what makes sense to me. I probably did some research and found out that, okay, there are names, or there is a name at the Chicago State University that can actually match what Tinubu is, and they decided to go with that. And that is just or at the point he started this whole thing, from the time he enrolled into corporations, or whether applied to a corporation to work at the corporation, probably that is where the forgery started from. So probably that was where he used that is different persons, a different identity, taking an identity, just like usually forgers, when they want to forge something, they first of all go through the system of that institution and get a name or whatever. So they find name of someone and probably do investigation. Probably that person could have been dead or something like that. They now bring us, okay, why don't you can bear this name, go with this name, and we'll get a document that has record. Every record, this name has a record on this institution, on the system of this institution. Bear this name. I think these are the two possibilities, that the forgery actually started from when he started with the beginning of his life or whatever. So that is just or the thing just the name Tinubu, Ahmed Tinubu corresponds, aligns with a certain name. Like I said, Yoruba has a bear similarities in names with first and last name, the same thing like that. And they found that someone bears the same similarity, the same name, who passed through Chicago State University. But ordinarily, I am not convinced. I have this strong conviction that Bola Tinubu did not attend Chicago State University. Chicago State University, they're just trying to defend him.
Let me also mention one fact.
Yes.
I told you from the beginning that the position by the registrar of Chicago State University,
yes,
was not subject to cross-examination. It's just like a witness stands up in the court, swears to tell the truth, and then finishes. Then the lawyers can now question him. But the one we reach is when he finished, there's no cross-examination because it's not being used in the court. There's a statement he made that replacement certificates or diplomas are done by vendors. Now, nobody asked him because it was not cross-examination. But if he was to be cross-examined, you would simply ask him, if your own university certificate, replacement certificate is to be done by an outside person, whom you call a vendor, who signs that certificate and who imposes the seal on it?
That is it.
Because once a document belongs to the person who signs it,
yes,
not the person who prepares it. If I type a document on a computer and I append my signature on it, the document belongs to me. So will he say that it is the vendors, the outside vendors that prepare the replacement certificate, sign it, and put the university seal on it?
It still boils down. That's the problem now. It still boils down to my own opinion, to my own understanding of this whole thing. That it doesn't make sense for someone who attended, who is an alumnus of an institution or a university, to forge documents, to forge the document of that institution. Getting this certified true copy of your certificate is not a difficult thing, especially in this internet era, technology era, where you can just apply online and get it. Apart from that, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has all the wherewithal to actually get whatever he needs that is genuine globally. A sort of. So what does it take? It didn't take, it couldn't have taken anything for him to just, okay, send someone or even travel to the US himself, get this document. It doesn't take anything. It doesn't take, even if it's going to be money, it's just a meager, just a little stipend to pay to get this thing. So why? My own is, if you truly attended this school, why did you forge this document? It doesn't make sense to forge a document of a school, forge a certificate of an institution that you are an alumnus to. It doesn't make sense.
On that point, again, let me quote Professor Perogi.
Yes.
He tried to be patronizing, try to answer that question that in the fire brigade approach of Nigeria, last minute way that we do things here, Tinubu may have decided to now sit somewhere or use an app and produce that certificate because of the election. What he forgets to say is that this thing did not start yesterday. It did not start in 2020.
That is the point.
It started in 1999. 20 years ago. So there was no issue of fire brigade. There's no issue of urgency. If the issue started in 1999 and you were taken to court.
No, but hold on. Barrister, sorry to cut you short. It's not even about, well, look, an election is not something that comes suddenly. Forget about 1999. Let's even assume, okay, in 2023. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been preparing for presidency
exactly
for a very long time. So, and there is a timetable to that. Why did you not, before you submit, why did you not apply to get this document ready?
Before the election, the nomination in the party itself requires you to produce your documents.
That is the point. That is it.
The party has screening committees that screen the candidates. That screening involves looking at your particular educational qualifications. So there was no issue of last minute urgency to produce this thing.
Now, honestly, I don't want us to dwell too much. I think we have dwelled so much on this sort of. So I want us to discuss the political aspect of it, the angle, political angle.
No, let me. I must add one other issue.
Yes.
To lay background.
Yes. Go ahead.
I think about 2003 or 2006, Tinubu gave an interview to Premium Times about his work. He said that he made his money from working with Dolet and Touch. You know Dolet and Touch?
Yes.
The multinational accounting firm.
Mm-hmm.
He said that they sent him to Saudi Arabia to set up an accounting process for a business that they wanted to operate there. And when he came back, he saw they put millions of dollars in his account. That was the interview he gave to try to justify his wealth. Now, Dolet and Touch came out to say that the man was never employed with them.
Wow.
It turned out that he went there as an IT student on industrial training. So there's no way that
yes,
these millions of dollars that he claimed were now paid into his account.
Because honestly, again, this issue of Bola, that man is just full of mysteries, and the mysteries are just dark, so dark that you just can't see through.
Just too many.
Too much.
And our people say that there's no smoke without fire.
It's just this is not smoke, Barrister. It has gone beyond smoke. This is the real fire. This is serial lies. Serial lies from the beginning. There's nothing truth about the man's foundation completely. From his origin to date, there is nothing truth. It is not about smoke. This goes far beyond smoke. This is fire itself. There's no ambiguity here. It is just the real fire, sort of. So I don't say this. Look, anyway, let's move to the political aspect of it. Now, we have Atiku, another devil himself, coming out to say, call on the NPP presidential candidate Rabiu Kwankwaso and Peter Obi to join him in pursuing this matter or whatever. When I watched this this press conference, I just smiled. I said, this man he wants to eat his cake and have it. Nobody does it in life. You can't eat your cake and have it. The people who try to eat their cake and have it, they end up in tragedy. That's just the truth. Look, this is a man who circumvented the system and several times, betrayed PDP just for his own personal gains, came back to the same PDP again, circumvented the system, circumvented the process, circumvented the constitution of the PDP, to install himself, bulldoze himself to become whatever, and cause this disunity, destroying PDP, divided PDP, and now coming to begin to appeal to other candidates or whatever. It is late, for God's sake. And let me tell you one thing. I sense something that has to do with Northern region in this whole thing. This case, I asked myself, why did Atiku suddenly pick interest in this certificate saga? He could have done that. Why didn't he do it before the election? Why didn't he do it during the nomination process and whatever? Yes, okay. And I gave answers to myself. And I said, yes, of course, he was confident. He was confident that he was going to win the election. So he just felt there was no need for him to just fight this man to his stand because they are friends. On the recess, Bola Tinubu and Atiku are friends. They are just political enemies, and that political enmity is just on the surface, it's just to the public. Behind the scene, honestly, these guys are friends. So he didn't want to play that dirty or whatever. So he just felt he had that confidence that he was going to, considering Tinubu's antecedents and health issue, he just felt this man is going to be a walkover. And now that this man eventually or whatever, and initially even during this court proceedings, he laid low. Everything, the PDP stuff was not being heard that much. why the sudden pickup of this case? He suddenly derived pleasure in doing this. And my own point is this. I think, because at this point, we have a very, in fact, a very significant number of northern elites that are not happy with the way Tinubu is already doing things right now. They are not happy. They are feeling disappointed. These are people who worked for him, the northern elites, who worked for him to enthrone him with this crazy, evil, what do they call it, Muslim ticket. A sort of, now this man he seems to be going against their desire or their wish. So they now decided to prop up Atiku to use this weapon to make sure, to make sure Atiku becomes the president. This is it makes sense too, because I asked myself, why now? Why is Atiku doing all this now? And that is just what came to mind, that the northern elites are beginning, they are the ones now propping Atiku to come out. And I think they are going to influence the Supreme Court in this, because the truth is, according to, you will define that for me legally, to our viewers. According to what I have heard so far and we read so far, that if Bola Tinubu his presidency is truncated by the Supreme Court, automatically by the election law, our election laws, automatically the second person in the election will assume leadership. That's automatic. That's what the understanding. We'll get to that. But this is my thoughts, honestly, that Atiku is just playing. There are people backing him, northern elites that are backing him, who are no more comfortable with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with the way he is ruling things, sort of. So what is your mind? What is your opinion? What is your thoughts about this, Barrister Manta?
Let me say that, first of all, Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri Adamawa, is the architect of his own problem. Atiku Abubakar would have been president of Nigeria long ago.
Yes.
If he had not betrayed Obasanjo.
If he were patient.
If he was patient, and Obasanjo did his 2 terms, if they had not had that quarrel, that presidency of Yaradua, Atiku would have been president at that point in time. I know that because at that point, I was one of the lawyers of the PDP at the national level. And I participated in writing an opinion on the amendment of the PDP constitution. Then, because it provided for 2-year tenure for the National Executive Committee members. The constitution was amended in the convention of the year 2000 to provide for a 4-year tenure. And the question was whether the then national chairman, Gamade, would take benefit of the amendment and run for 4 years. I had the privilege of writing an opinion on that at that point. So the issue at that time was, Obasanjo came to the presidency not being a politician.
Yes.
And not having any structure on the ground.
Yes.
He was railroaded into the presidency. He had to rely on the structures, the financial, political, and other machinery of the powers that be. There are IBB, Abdul Salam, and other northern elements. Then, Atiku was elected as governor of Adamawa State,
yes.
And Obasanjo had to co-opt him as the VP. In the first term of Obasanjo, Nigeria from Abacha time was a total pariah throughout the world. Yes. Nobody wanted to deal with Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
So Obasanjo set himself the task of going around the world to repair the image of Nigeria. why he entrusted the internal matters, economic situation to his VP. So for the first 4 years, Atiku was in charge of the economy, was in charge of the internal situation. Obasanjo was gallivanting all over the world. In fact, it became an issue at that point. They used to count the number of travels he was making. But he saw himself as somebody who had to go around the world to repair the image of Nigeria. But unknown to him, Atiku was using that privilege
to entrench himself. Yes.
To entrench himself and build his personal political structures. He did that so well that he came to a point that all the 19 governors of PDP were 100% loyal.
Yeah, to Atiku.
So he used that power to hold Obasanjo to ransom when Obasanjo wanted to contest for the second term. To the extent that Obasanjo had to go and kneel down and beg.
Yeah.
And if you know Obasanjo is a woolly old man, but with a lot of wisdom and sense.
Yes.
You stoop to conquer. So he went down on his knees and begged and ensured that he got the nomination for the second term. Only then did he turn to deal with Atiku. He stripped him of all the powers he had delegated to him. If you remember, Atiku even had to leave the PDP and join another party at that point, and Obasanjo tried to remove
ACN,
him.
I think AC then, yeah. Yeah.
And the matter went to court. So at that point, if he had been patient, that crisis would not have occurred. And Obasanjo would have had no reason to look elsewhere for his VP nominee when the chiefs were down. Now, he has been off and on in the from PDP. He once allied with Tinubu, allied with Buhari, and always coming back. It is becoming like a matter of desperation.
Yeah, it is. It is not becoming. It's a matter of desperation.
In the 2023 election, by a combination of factors, he became supremely confident.
Yes.
That he was going to emerge the president. I remember I discussed this issue with you then. Oweleketv has not started, but we spoke about it.
Yes.
And I told you that many people who were going to him to complain about the actions of the 5 governors and other issues, he was telling them that they should not worry, that everything is under control, that he was going to emerge the president.
President, yeah.
But you see, when you look at his own history, his own experience in politics, you would not have expected that kind of confidence in him. Even with confidence, you still put your house in order.
Order, yeah.
To avoid any eventuality. But he did not. And at the end of the day, the first issue was Obi leaving the PDP. And knowing that since 1999, the Southeast had voted overwhelmingly for PDP. Coming to this time, the Southwest first felt a sense of entitlement. The Yorubas had ruled, the Northern Hausas have ruled. It was their turn. That was the way they felt. They felt that it was the turn of the Southeast to produce a president.
Yes, of course.
Because the common thing is that Nigeria is standing on a tripod.
Yeah.
Of the 3 biggest tribes.
Languages, yes.
Yes.
Tribes.
So they felt that sense of entitlement, that this is our time to produce the president. So when Obi came out of PDP, if I was Atiku, I would have been alarmed. In fact, alarmed to the extent of doing anything to sort out that situation. He did not. Then by emerging as the candidate of the PDP against the constitution of the PDP itself, he gave ammunition to the other people like Wike and the 5 PDP governors, because they were right, because the constitution of PDP did not permit the emergence of a northern candidate.
Yeah, that is it.
After a northern candidate has ruled, that is what is in the constitution of the PDP. So when the Wike and the Ottoman others were shouting, they had the law on their side. They had the right on their side. They had morality on their side. What did he do? He did not do enough to put that fire, to quench that fire. And just like Obi issue, he left it hanging. So all this combination of factors, now coming to the north, where he felt that the northwest and northeast will come to him, he failed to also realize that Nigerian politics is principally politics of personal interest. The governors of the north, who were not in his own party, felt threatened that if he wins, they will not get, or they will not be in a position of influence. So they were also going to fight. I thought this kind of analysis, even anybody on the street could understand it. But I was shocked that the Waziri did not see it in that way. He kept it that he was confident of winning the presidency. Where that confidence came from, I never could fathom. I could not understand where that this thing. So the elections came and went. Now, in his press conference, and by the way, I felt that the press conference fell short of what people expected. I wanted him to sound nationalistic in that press conference. I wanted him to say, look, I'm fighting this thing not just for myself, but for justice for Nigerian people. I want to show, even if I do not win in the Supreme Court, I want to show the kind of person that is ruling Nigeria. Let Nigerians know.
I think, sorry to cut you short. I think he made that statement, but not in details. He just made it in a passive way. I think he did something. He made that comment.
He made it, but I'm saying that should have been the theme.
Yes,
the theme of his statement.
Yes,
that he's not just fighting this to reclaim his alleged mandate, but to show the kind of person that has come to be the head of affairs in Nigeria, and to caution Nigerians that, look, the situation we have on the ground, that would have sat well, that would have sat better with a lot of Nigerians. But where you present it strictly as if you are desperate to be the president, when people do not even have 80% or 90% confidence in him,
you, yes,
it undermines the trust of the press conference.
That is it, yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Now you come late and you are now calling on people you ignored before.
Yeah, that is the point.
To join you to do what? That's the issue. Because you presented yourself as if you are just fighting for your mandate, fighting to be president. Surely, those are your political enemies. They cannot join you. They cannot join you. But if you presented yourself as you are fighting for Nigeria, principally, and you are asking them to join you to help fight for Nigeria, that is understandable.
Yeah.
Somebody can say, okay,
that is it.
From that angle, I can join you. I can put.
Now, Barrister, let's talk about it. I didn't. This is not actually. This was not in my itinerary on this show today. But let's talk about it because it just came to mind. The legal aspect of this. If should Tinubu be unseated, what happens? Going by our electoral law, what happens? Is it true that Atiku, as the second runner-up, becomes the president?
Yes,
is that what our law says?
I have once discussed this issue on this platform. I said when the court, if the court should remove Tinubu, on ground that he was not qualified to contest, then in that case, all the votes that were alleged to have been cast for him are deemed as wasted votes. So the next person in votes
line
will be declared.
Wow.
But were he to be removed on grounds of votes, and there's a problem with the issue, it will go to
you see that is
runoff election.
That is my
talking particularly on the issue of the forgery.
Yes.
If you were to be removed.
That comes to my point.
Yes, if you were to be removed on grounds of forgery, it is a constitutionally disqualifying factor. In that case,
he becomes president.
Will have to be declared.
No, okay. You see, that actually gives credence to my thoughts I mentioned earlier. That this whole thing, there is this northern, the sudden interest in this case is coming from not just Atiku alone, it's coming from the northern elites. They just want to wrest power again to the north. They just need power to go back, to get back to the north. That is just it. And that is it. And well, this whole thing is somehow, and with this, I think they are also, if the northern elites are involved in this whole thing, as I alluded, it means that they will try to influence the Supreme Court as well. Because when it comes to things like this, nobody plays dirty as the northerners. They are really, 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 they are I call them as the best politicians in Nigeria, but at the same time, not just for good, not the best politicians as a positive aspect. No, they are the best politicians as in the line of negativity. That's just the truth, negative aspect. So well, we are in for a shocker where we may be thinking the Supreme Court will go in favor of Bola Tinubu. Northerners, they play this game better than anyone, and if the northern elites are involved in this, as I thought, or as I think right now, it obviously means that they have beamed their satellites on the Supreme Court. And trust northerners, anything, if they unanimously, if they are united in a cause, they most times get it, and that is just it. And that would be very, very, anyway, I don't know if that would be worse, because I don't know if anyone could be worse than Tinubu right now. At least Atiku has foundation. He has people know him from foundation to date. So he has a history. We know he's anticipated everything he has done. He's been in the public light for a very long time. So I don't know whether his governance will be better than, because they are all corrupt. It's as equally corrupt as Tinubu. So that is just it. The truth is, in my own opinion and judgment, that the entire election was flawed, completely flawed. For it to sit, it's not going to. Either way, let me be frank with you. Whether Supreme Court goes in favor of this certificate saga, which by default enthrones Atiku, or goes against goes in favor of Tinubu, honestly, either of these decisions can never be well with the country's situation. People will not take it lightly. I am telling you, Nigeria has gotten to, the system has pushed the Nigerian citizens to the wall that people are not really, like, yes, I understand Nigerians, they don't like to protest. No, Nigeria don't like to, no one wants to die, or no one wants to face any negativity personally. But it has gotten to a point where they say angry man, a hungry man is an angry man, because it always gets to a point in anybody, no matter how gentle someone is, you push someone to the wall. And I remember during this presidential campaign, Peter Obi had this conference where is it conference? Not conference, debate, sorry. excuse me, where Dino Melaye challenged him. Dino Melaye was a kind of negatively ruthless there, a sort of, and Peter Obi, who was not known, who has never been known for reacting negatively, reacting angrily, never been known for being angry. For the first time, I saw Peter Obi, at least people, they not saw everybody, the entire world saw Peter Obi, at least kind of feeling angry at someone, a sort of. So he has always demonstrated sense of patience, sense of tolerance and understanding and empathy to the public. But for the first time he did that is because he was pushed to the wall. That's why I brought up that story, is because there is human beings that we have limitations. There is a limit to what you can do to someone, how much you can push someone. You push someone to the wall, the next thing you react. And Nigeria, I think Nigeria has come to that breaking point. Nigerians have been pushed to the wall. I tell you, if the court case goes in favor of either Barr, Tinubu, or Atiku, Nigerians will not take it lightly. Honestly, anything that falls short of it, at least the least we expect is nullify the entire election and reconduct order for another run. That's the least. Or, okay, as you always say, which I trust your sense of legal judgment, you always say that proving election cases, especially when it comes to do with numbers, it is extremely difficult. So, okay, even though I cannot discountenance that I don't know if that is one. I think it is one of the prayers of Peter Obi to nullify the election and give him the seat. I think it is one of, I don't know, I'm not too sure. But that is just it. Now, in rounding up, we are rounding up this whole thing. Honestly, Barrister, before I round down, let me give you the opportunity to give out the last thought about this whole situation, and I'll come back to round it up.
Yes, I do not want to speculate in detail about what will happen at the Supreme Court.
Yeah, because you are a lawyer, I understand that. You're a lawyer, a respected lawyer at that, so I understand that situation.
But personally, I'm not expecting anything from the Supreme Court. And I say that because of procedural bottlenecks. Even though under our laws, we have right to present additional evidence on appeal under strict conditions, it has never been done in an electoral issue, electoral jurisprudence. This will be the first time the Supreme Court will be called upon to admit additional evidence on appeal in an election matter. Whether the Supreme Court will agree to that or not.
Sorry to cut you short. Does the law permit that? That is what matters to me.
You see, I have told you that we have the normal civil rules that guide all cases. But there are also practice directions and the electoral that guide the court case involving election matters. So the two of them are not synonymous. In the normal court process, you can bring fresh evidence on appeal. But in the electoral cases, the provisions are very strict. The slightest technical issues will lead to dismissal of the case. And it has never been shown, there's never a time where additional evidence has been sought to be presented on appeal in Nigeria, and it has been allowed. So I don't have confidence that the Supreme Court will accept the additional evidence. They have enough procedural basis to decline to accept it. And they have enough technical issues to raise to block it. Having said that, when you come to the issue of northern sentiments, it is true that the sentiments in the north presently are that the government of Tinubu does not favor the north as such. But I doubt if there is unanimity of the northern elites to try to bring down the government of Tinubu. I'm not sure of that, because even within the north, as I said before, politics in Nigeria is personal. It's based purely on personal interest as against national interest. So even in the north, you will find a dichotomy on that issue. You will see disagreements if there have to be a concerted effort to bring down the government of Tinubu using the judiciary. I will not go as far as to give credence to that. But like they say in Nigeria, anything can happen. And even as I'm a lawyer, I cannot say 100% on the other side, because I'm also a lawyer in Nigeria and I've witnessed what has happened in Nigeria for decades. So let's hope that the Supreme Court will give judgment one way or another. And finally, as far as I'm concerned, I've said repeatedly that we operate a fraudulent democracy. And whatever judgment the Court of Appeal puts out there, it's not going to benefit the average Nigerian, because the system itself is fraudulent. The so-called democracy we are operating, it's not democracy in the true sense. The three arms of government are submerged in the executive. The judicial, the executive and the legislature are virtually one arm. There are only two arms on paper, but in reality, they are submerged in the executive. And now you see, when you talk of interference in the judiciary, you can see that all the three arms will coalesce.
Are merging together, yes.
So what kind of democracy is that? These three arms are supposed to be checked,
independent, yes,
and balances on each arm of the government, the democracy. But we don't have that. They are not doing that. They don't have the capacity to do that. So we operate a fraudulent democracy. And this fraudulent democracy benefits only the elites and foreign powers.
Yes.
It does not benefit the majority of Nigerian people. So the elites, in conjunction with foreign powers, want this system to remain and continue. So whatever judgment the Supreme Court gives, I don't have much interest in it, because I know that at the end, the Nigerian people will be shortchanged. It will not help them.
Yeah, thank you so much. And talking about change, like I said earlier, yes, the Nigerian people will be changed, but I bet you the change that they've been passing through probably from the foundation of the country called Nigeria may have succeeded. They may have been true all the years but this change is going to be a different change. I bet you it's going to be different. I'm not predicting doom, but the truth is we're just saying it as it is. It is the reality on ground. We're just making sense out of what is the current situation in Nigeria. People are suffering. People are languishing in poverty. People can't pay. Look, did you? Someone. In fact, I tears. I felt so emotional when a PhD holder applied for a job, for a position that was advertised. We advertised a position and a PhD holder, for God's sake. To confirm, I had to place a call to this man. I asked for his whatever. He's forwarded his documents. A PhD holder. What? It doesn't make sense to me. That is how bad the country has become. This yesterday, an MSc holder, a master's degree holder in mass communication. Master's degree holder. I was asking her, how much are you earning in your current place of work? She works at a radio station. Surprisingly, honestly, I didn't know when tears just accumulated in my eyes when she mentioned this. How much are you paid right now? 28,000 naira. Barrister, a master's degree holder, 28,000 naira. What? That is the situation. That is the Nigeria we are talking about. And you tell me you think people have not been pushed to the wall? I bet you, let them go ahead and circumvent Nigerians this time around, circumvent the system and entrench themselves in power. Something they don't expect. Something they don't expect will definitely happen because people are dying, people are languishing in poverty, in lack. People with degrees, masters, first, second degrees, PhD holders can't even make ends meet anymore. Can't even fend for their families, can't even fend for themselves. It is
what you are saying. Let me tell you that what you are saying is an understatement. The situation is far worse than what you have presented. The middle class.
Correct.
The middle class is actually wiped out.
I forgot to even tell you, even lawyers. We have 3 lawyers on 3 different occasions applying for this job. For God's sake, they are practicing lawyers. Practicing. Okay, 2 of them are practicing. One is not.
Here, I have seen it all.
My God.
I've practiced for decades. I've seen it all. I'm telling you that the situation you have presented is the situation on the ground is far worse than what the situation you have presented. The middle class has been wiped out.
My God.
We are now brought down to the
top and the bottom. Just 2 classes.
The middle and the bottom are together now. We are all together. Yes. It's only the bottom and top that remain now in Nigeria.
That's the point. And someone will tell me that this time around, this is not a breaking point. Trust me, Nigerians, yes, they love their lives. They don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to. But I bet you, look, you cannot be hungry and be. Nobody will be starving and desires to live. You see, if you are hopeless, a hopeless man can be very, very dangerous. Any hopeless. What causes the suicide? Suicide comes as a result of hopelessness. That is it. So when someone is hopeless, it becomes suicidal. That is a default. It becomes suicidal. That is just the truth. So let them go ahead and think that this time around their money or their power will do it. I'm telling you, they may not see what is coming, what will come at them. Honestly, that is just the truth because Nigerians, it has gotten to a very, very awry situation. That being said, thank you so much, viewers. Again, we have come to the end of this show with Barrister A.A. Manta. We appreciate Barrister Austin Manta so immensely for always availing his tight schedule, availing himself over his tight schedule to be with us. We appreciate his insights, political and legal insights, which are always very, very germane and cogent. Thank you for joining us. This is Oweleketv, and the show is called Jibrin Angle. On this angle, just as you've heard, we say it the way it is. We are always as raw can be. No matter whose care, we don't care whose ox is God. So on this angle, we deal with current affairs that borders politics, law, and gospel, sort of. So join us if this is your area of interest. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. We have our address is at Oweleketv. That is our address on all the social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, These are the 4 social. And our website is www.oweleketv. That is our website. Subscribe, set on your notification so that whenever we upload any content, you'll be able to watch your favorite show. And we go live. Sometimes we go live. Like tomorrow, we'll be on live TV on the gospel show with very, very knowledgeable men of God to analyze the issue of the gospel. So thank you so very much, viewers. Stay tuned, stay connected with us, and we'll keep giving you the best the best that we can. Thank you, and remain blessed. Bye.
Numerous questions continue to arise daily regarding the certificate saga involving President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Will Nigeria follow its usual course in handling this matter, or will justice prevail? Nigerians eagerly await answers to this question. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Jibrin Angle. Join us again next time. I am Rachel Abioye.